Good morning, Noor. Sabah al khair. How are you? How are you?
I'm good, thank you so much. أنت كيفك دكتور؟
I'm doing very, very well. Looking forward to it's the first podcast recording in the new year. So I'm looking forward to see what's your take on things, what have you thought about, and thank you in advance for taking the time to share your thoughts and your experiences with all of us, whoever is watching and listening.
Sure, thank you so much, Dr. Bilhas. I'm looking forward to. It's a nice start of the year, to be honest. I think it will be like a bunch of reflections throughout the podcast. So yeah, looking forward.
So thank you, Noor. Thank you for being the first person to meet with me for this podcast in the year in 2026.
Yeah,
And thank you for
so much. Yeah.
accepting to share your ideas, your comments, your experiences.
You are most welcome, Doctor. Thank you so much also for inviting me. بالعكس, I'm looking forward to the podcast. I'm sure it will contain a lot of fake reflections that will be useful for me at the beginning of this year, وإن شاء الله يقدر the audience as well.
Inshallah, inshallah. So, in what capacity do you want people to know you on this podcast? A little bit about you.
Okay, maybe beside my professional, let's say, work as a consultant and expert in the innovation and entrepreneurship field, I'm a a daughter and a sister of two siblings in a family manners, let's say. Also, uh, I like some like sports related to hiking activities, uh, back riding, and like yeah, these things. I'm an optimistic person usually, or like people keeps telling me that in general. I plan a lot, but at the same time, I have like a bright side uh, where I see things from that angle. Yeah, I'm persistent personality and compassionate person. Yeah,
Oh, nice. Yes, yes. So speaking of horseback riding, let me
yeah,
dive straight into the topic. Speaking
yes.
of horseback riding, they say if you fall off a horse, get back on it immediately.
Ah,
مظبوط?
yeah,
Is that
that's right. Interesting.
is that true?
Yeah, that's true. By the way, when you start يعني training on horseback riding, all trainers and all people around you just telling you إنه wait your يعني for your first fall. You need to fall.
Oh, is
يعني
that right?
يعني we can't call you a very good horseback rider until you fall. So it's by the way, it's a success metric in that field. And of
Really?
course, you fall, you just like ride again and خلاص forget every what happened.
So let's dig deep a little bit. Why do you think they say that?
Um, Maybe because like for me, horseback riding uh, it has a huge role related to your stability and confidence. Um, And when you start training on horseback riding, you keep questioning your confidence and your stability as well. Once, by the way, you beat your maybe self doubts, hesitation, and so on, you would be a very good horseback rider. Even your fear as well. لأ, falling down will break this, I don't know, these feelings of of fear, for example, being unconfident, for example, and so on. So you prove to yourself إنه okay يعني you fall but it's temporary يعني I can يعني it's not a big deal. You know, the worst case scenario, if I let myself go with the horse and be smooth, uh, let's say with the horse, the worst case scenario I fall. So you try this fall and خلاص يعني okay, this is the worst case scenario, and يعني it was good enough for me to ride the horse again without hurt.
Take me a little bit through one of your riding journeys. How do you feel about it? If would you know if you're falling? Does it warn you by a second or 2 seconds? Have you fallen before, by the way?
To be
Have
honest,
you
no.
had?
To be honest,
Okay,
no. Until today,
okay.
today I'm waiting for my first fall. But maybe because like أنا شخص يعني maybe how we can
إيه.
say it English بس هيك حريص
حريص
overly.
خلينا بقى فينك تحكي عربي فينا نحكي عربي
Yeah,
وإنجليزي بنحط subtitles
then
don't
we
worry.
can mix. إنه
إيه
um, I calculated very well, which is a thing that I don't like
إيه
a lot, to be honest. I didn't leave myself till today, and maybe because like I'm still at the beginning stage, يعني beginning stages of horseback riding. So
إمم.
uh, yeah, I've never experienced falling experience till today. Sometimes, by the way, it's alarming because, like, when I hear the feedback from people who fall, yani, down in front of me, and sometimes, yeah, it's alarming. Sometimes it's a reaction from the horse itself, and sometimes it's a reaction of you. So, uh, one of the things that horseback riding teaches you, you know, you need to be to be a decision maker and just to focus on your goal. Any hesitation for seconds, it might يعني ruin
Ah,
everything. So خلاص, I want, for example, to jump.
yes,
There's no way to change your mind before
in the
seconds.
middle.
Literally, if you change your mind, you will fall down.
Oh,
So it's
so
about
it's
just go, move forward. And even if horses took, by the way, mixed signals, they got
yeah.
confused.
Mm.
So
And
خلاص, I
how
want to turn right. I need to be persistent and turn right. No hesitation, just going forward. So to be honest, for me, horseback riding, I think it trains also personality. Besides
mhm,
this, you gain, yeah, besides the horseback riding skills, also you gain some personal skills or you improve certain personal skills you have.
like quick decision making, not
Decision
changing.
making, leadership, courage, confidence. And confidence for me, it's يعني the major thing. Yeah,
Because here you're dealing with the environment, which is wherever you're riding, but also you're dealing with another being and
yeah,
an animal,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? Uh, so it's very interesting. I can I take you back to the whole idea of you're expecting a fall.
Yes, of course.
How high is the horse when you're riding? يعني a fall, would it break anything? Are you afraid of a fall?
You mean about the height of the horse
From
itself?
yeah, yes, yes.
هلا, to be honest, هلا, it depends on the horse. Um, but the point إنه let's say while you are training, you are in the ideal, let's say, environment. So, for
Mm,
example, the floor is well designed to absorb any fall, so you don't
mm,
get broken in
yeah.
a way or another. Also, even horses has personalities, by the way, like human, and you feel it. يعني,
Wow.
when you have good lessons and deal with a good number of horses, you feel that. So even trainers, usually, that's why I'm telling you it's an ideal يعني situation for you to keep you safe يعني at the end.
Hmm.
But I don't think this is the real life, as we say, if we want to reflect it. So we have an ideal floor, and also there's like, however, there's like not a sequence, a gradual increase in the height and personality of horse. So at the يعني the first few classes you start with like shorter horses, more uh, coachable أو يعني حصن مطيعين, let's say. They
إيه
don't
إيه
resist,
مطيعين.
but some of them, some of horses, they have personality and they resist and they want you to go the way they want.
Ah.
Uh, then after that, they give you more taller one
Hmm.
with tougher personality and so on. So it's a gradual thing until you reach يعني هيك a good maybe communication skills with the horses.
So you need to communicate with
Yeah,
your horse.
communicate and understand. Communication, yeah, is an understanding.
Okay. So let's go back one more thing just to lock
Yeah,
it in, which is everyone expects you to fall, and you expect yourself to fall.
yeah, that's right.
مظبوط, right?
That's
But
right.
do you think you can ride for a long time without actually falling and you just do it right?
I'm not sure, to be honest. Uh, I don't think so. I think there's a
Mm.
possibility to fall, yeah, that I can't deny. I don't to focus on it. It might not happen, but it might happen يعني once. So yeah, I need to accept this fact.
So does it scare you?
Yeah, sometimes yes, it scares me. Yeah,
But you still ride.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And
Why?
I'm expecting, to be honest. يعني for several reasons, because like maybe your tolerance increase with time. So for example, the fact of falling, sometimes, I don't accept it at all. But with time, okay, yeah, I accept it because like several reasons. I accept it, and I accept it because I saw several people who fall, who fell, and they are very well. So it became like normal for me. Also, uh, let's say my tolerance also increased because like I get used to horses, I get used to environment. So the tolerance of incidents, of accepting, let's say, incidents became heck, bigger and bigger. So yeah, يعني yeah, I killed some fears. So that's why, okay, I'm
That's, yeah,
but
I like that.
yeah, it's a possibility that it might happen. To
Mhm.
be honest, I don't know when, and I accept it. I think so. That's why I'm moving forward.
So the benefit is higher than the risk of
Yeah, that's right.
costs.
That's right. That's right.
And what's the benefit for you in general, horseback riding versus the risk of falling? What do you gain from it?
I gained experience. I gained experience, and I gained some, I don't know, competencies or skills. Uh, whether I gained them like from scratch or like I improved certain skills. Uh, so yeah, one of them for me, like fear. I'm a person who has a lot of fears, uh, and I always make sure things needs to happen in the right way. Um, and I'm afraid of any new things, let's say. So this experience helped me in shaping the fear and reducing this fear. Also, يعني, one of the examples um, of the skills that I improved is self-confidence, because like it's very important to have it. Owning your decisions, like يعني, what I mentioned now, and the joy itself. يعني, so the moment when you just think, يعني, the most the nicest feeling that you have while you do horseback bike riding, when you sync with the horse, you خلاص, you are in the same wave, let's say. So this
Mm,
feeling for me, it's so satisfying, and it's so nice in general. And by the way, it's type of the exercises. It's like literally it gives me that maybe dopamine and adrenaline that I usually have when I go to gym or do any type of exercise. All your muscles, it's a cardio exercise, cardio and link, let's say, exercise for you. Um, so all of these feelings that you have at the end, when you think, when you build a relationship with the horse itself, when you uh, maybe have these hormones playing in your body, I think it's worth it every time to have. With time, you build an emotional link. Uh, this hobby and with the other creature. يعني literally horses, when you understand them, you feed them and they feed you. So once you had a very nice ride with a certain horse, for example, you just hug him or her, I don't know, thanking him, thank you, and he thanks you, for him having uh, a good rider is very important thing for him. يعني it saves energy for the horse itself. Uh,
mm.
so you feel like it's a give and back relationship. But once you are like stressed, nervous, the horse uh, will react based on that. So yeah, this is
So nice. This is,
yeah,
I've never looked at it that way, but now you've given me a different appreciation of horseback riding,
yeah,
which I have
yeah,
to admit personally, I relate a little bit to motorcycle riding,
yeah,
a little bit, right? So there's this thing when you sync with the road, but of course it's an engine. Uh, it's similar, but I'm sure what you experience with horses is different as enjoyable. Do they ever uh, teach you how to train you on how to fall, or uh,
لا.
no? Just
You
so
just
there is no.
well, you need like what they say it, to have all your precautions, or like I know you need to wear your helmet. Some people wear a vest.
Yeah.
So this is the thing, يعني, they tell you about, just be careful.
So, uh, because I'm trying to relate within motorcycles. The first thing that my trainer, when I trained on riding motorcycles, told me, of course, we wear the gear and everything, is when you slide or something happens, do not hold on to your machine.
Ah,
Just
ah,
let
ah.
your motorbike go.
Yes.
Just let it go. That's
Yeah,
number
yeah,
one rule. And uh, so I did slide a couple of times and I let it go. And when you let it go, you let the risk of being hurt gets less than
yeah.
holding on to a 200, 300 kilo machine that is running and rumbling. Uh, I'm not sure if this is the case. I think the horse will just, whenever the horse knocks you or you fall
Similar.
off of it.
Usually, whether you will try holding with يعني on the horse, but once you in the floor, I think, yeah, You
Hmm.
need to just go.
You just got me interested more about horseback riding. Can we
Yeah, yeah, it's
take?
interesting. I mean, I'm exploring it with time, to be honest. When I started with it, I didn't have the passion, by the way, regarding this thing. And for me, it's yeah, and just something nice to try. But uh, uh, once I started like digging deeper in this uh, like hobby or exercise, yeah, I got more attached.
How long have you been riding, by the way?
Not that much, maybe 2 months, something like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, nice. So it's very recent.
Ah, very recent. Yeah. 2 months, 2 months and a half. Or maybe, oh my God, no. By the way, maybe I started in August, let's say, last year.
Okay.
But maybe I'm committed to certain classes since 2 months, let's say.
Mm. And you've developed such a refined observation of this sport by your describing when you get in sync and how the
Yeah.
horses feel
And
and how you
observation
feel.
and observation to myself, to be honest. It has a huge reflection. And sometimes, by the way, you go out, يعني you finish the class with a lot of like analysis and reflections about your personality and so on. That's why يعني, I got that time to have all of these maybe conclusions. Because to be honest, as I told you, I'm a person who have a lot of fears, and I had a lot of fears when I started. Even the trainer, I need to confess, to be honest, he told me you are يعني one of the uh, uh, people who trained or got the skills in a late pace or like in a slow pace
Mm,
because of my fear.
mm.
So, for example, in certain classes, me and the trainer agrees to name, for example, a certain skill in this class. But for example, at the same class, I couldn't do it because the fear of myself. So to be honest, when I finish and go back home, I start just why Noor? Why you are يعني, have this fear? Why you didn't do it in a good way? Why كذا? So maybe because يعني it has a real deep effect on personality, you will always have certain reflections uh, when you deal with horses and يعني ride horses in general. So maybe that's why I have that deepness and reflection because like it hit some things in my personality that it triggered certain traits in my personality.
So what does courage mean to you?
Interesting. Courage. Um, courage for me, I think it's about first of all trusting myself and trusting my decision. Uh, and moving forward, just like looking forward. I think once a person has these two, three things, he's courage enough.
Does do you turn off your fears when you have courage, or what do you actually do?
لا, I think I don't want uh, to make it sound like a philosophy, but courage may be no confessing and admitting your fears uh, and understanding them, but maybe shaping them in a way that does not affect you or affect maybe your decision or affect your self confidence in a way or another. Uh, So all I think we have fears, but um, in certain situations, these fears we bring them to our maybe conscious mind. So we just remind them, and so they stop us from doing a lot of things or having certain decisions, or I don't know. And sometimes you just keep them in your back in your mind, let's say, confessing them and admitting them and dealing with them, but in a way that benefits you.
And that's what you meant by shaping them,
Yes,
is
exactly.
being aware,
Yeah,
being
being aware
aware.
and understanding, يعني, and accepting to these fears. Uh, but it's also a decision whether I يعني, make these fears controls me in this situation or not. And to be honest, some fears it comes from our maybe way of thinking or on how we look at things, but not really how things look like. So even it depends on the thoughts that we have,
Mm.
uh, the emotional, I don't know, ups and downs we are going through, all affects to the equation of fears. So when I'm in a good mood, when I'm in a bad mood, I understand that my mind is not working very well, so it will maximize any fear that I have, like, or any situation that I have. So maybe
Mhm,
certain decisions I don't take them when I know that I'm not in a very good mood or like mental mood, let's say. However, in other situations, when you are like ambitious, you are happy, you look to things in a different way. So you become more courage, I don't know, more enthusiasm, uh, يعني with more يعني enthusiasm, يعني let's say, or excited to do
mm.
things. So I think, yeah, it differs.
You know, the title of my podcast is The Courage to Fall,
Yeah,
literally.
yeah,
And your topic couldn't have fit better, right? So
exactly.
you're on a horse and you have your fears. So when I tell you the podcast that the title is The Courage to Fall,
Yeah.
what does that what do you understand from it? Or how would you think out loud about it?
The courage to fall. And yeah, I understand it. يعني, and this is what, to be honest, what I try to enhance in my personality or in a personal level. You know, falling here it's part of life. Uh, so having the courage to fail means, you know, sometimes we need to let ourselves to fall. Sorry, or yeah, to fail or to fall. Sometimes we resist in certain situations. We resist our fall. But what I've learned, you know, sometimes, you know, خلاص you need to accept falling, and you need to let your body, your mind, your emotions to fall down. Uh, but it's about, because like it's I think it's a human nature. Everyone falls. No one, and it's not something يعني, it's nothing wrong or يعني me or on you or on everybody. It's the human nature. It's the life nature. Our life it's about up and downs. But at the end, I think happy people who are the people who accept falling, I think, and knows how to do it, to deal with falling, and how to deal with themselves uh, to help them يعني let's say إنه يطلعوا لفوق, let's say, after falling. Uh,
Climb back again.
to climb exactly 100%. Um, so I don't think, yeah, happiness is about يعني happy people are not the people who are يعني who are not falling, who are not, who are always in the top of the mountain. But happy people who, yeah, accept falling and accept the nature of life, uh, uh, and have a certain like gratitude of this life cycle. So yeah, that's why يعني, this is how I maybe describe the courage to fail. No, yeah, I'm proud. Yeah, I fall. يعني, I fell, uh, and I'm now here. So yeah, it's
What's the difference? Because I see your switch, and I mean, thank you for sharing this,
yeah,
your perception of it. And I just noticed also that you're interchanging the word fall and fail at the same time.
yeah.
Is there a difference, in your opinion, between falling and failing?
To be honest, يعني usually we link it, or me, and sometimes my mind link falling with failing. But maybe sometimes you fall, يعني, i- it's not necessarily, you know, if you fall, you fail. I think so.
Okay, how come?
We usually link it in خلاص.
Can
I
you
think
at
I
least
fall.
can you suggest a difference between falling and failing?
So just a difference.
Hey,
I
there is a
think,
difference.
yeah, perception is the difference. And how
Okay,
I see it. I see it, it's just a fall, a natural fall that I have, or like I see it, it's a fail that I blame myself on. I think, yeah, it's perception.
okay. I'll give you an example. At least my definition of falling and failing.
Yeah,
You're horseback riding. You fell once, you fell twice, but you're still doing the sport.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
falling. You fail, and that's not necessarily bad, is when you decide, خلاص, horseback riding is not for me. I quit.
yeah, yeah,
So that's one example of how I see it. And people do fail in things, and but falling is on the way. Can we switch gears and take that horseback riding example, your how you're building and you're discovering more about yourself and how you're overcoming fears, and move it to some sort of work situation that you have today or you've had before. And if you have to think back now, doing your hobby of horseback riding, how it can help you, that would be interesting if you can recall of something that you would like to share with us.
uh, yeah. I think I can link it with several situations, whether in a work level or like in a personal level. Because like as I told you, it's the life nature. You keep uh, going يعني up and down. Uh, so yeah, I can reflect it maybe before a few years, 2 years or something. Uh, yeah, I went through a situation where I fell in all levels, in work level, in personal level, in emotional level, in all levels. So maybe at that time, let's say if I want to compare it or link it with horseback riding, maybe I was a beginner in
Mhm.
in these situations. Um, so at that time, maybe I was resisting my fall, not accepting my fall. But once I let myself إنه خلاص, you know, just just fall. To be honest, when you resist, you learn the hard way إنه خلاص you need to surrender, let's say. Surrender in a way or another, because uh, um, يعني at certain points يعني the nice thing of these similar situations is understanding the pattern. So it's like a curve. It's like a curve. You go down, then you go up. Whether it's a horseback riding, you fall down to the ground, let's say, or or like it's a personal situation where your mentality, your emotions fall down in that way. So يعني maybe the good thing when we understand the nature of this fall and the difference between the stages of this fall. So at certain point at the beginning, you can't resist. So for example, if I يعني describe it in a horseback riding level, and when you fall خلاص no control, يعني you can't control. The gravity is attracting you towards يعني the ground. No one is helping you. There's no any hands around you. خلاص, you need to fall. And at a personal level, sometimes you reach to a point, and and to be honest, you realize it. You lose your control on your life, and you become like a third person who sees your life from a different angle. يعني in certain situations, we literally lose the control of events. So you become a person like you become like any person beside you, seeing your life as a viewer, let's say, not as a
As an observer.
an
Observer.
observer. Yeah, thank you so much. So when you realize this point, خلاص, you need to surrender and you need to let yourself fall. هلا this fall it has an end. يعني خلاص, okay, you reach the ground. هلا when you reach the ground هو the curve يعني هيك the ground, now you start maybe you got shocked, you start analyzing, you start regretting, you start blaming, and so on. And to be honest, يعني for this duration, maybe this is what I improved in a personal level. Sometimes maybe I used to stay in ground in personal situations for 2 years. But with time, I became staying on ground for 1 year, for example, and with time for 6 months, and so on. And that's similar to the horseback riding. خلاص, when you have the decision, just take crying and sitting and seeing the horse around you for, I don't know, uh, 50 seconds, 1 minute, 15 minutes, I don't know. Then هلا, at that moment, you will have maybe the spark of good decision, or like decision making, the right decision making. Okay, I'm here, I stayed for 15 minutes. خلص, it's time to do actions and move. Whether I decide to stop horseback riding, or like uh, ride the horse again, the same horse again. And so it's a decision, to be honest. But at the end, there's a decision needed to be taken in that moment. And that's similar to personal situations. يعني happened to me. As I told you, when I reached to that deep low level in my life, and I reflected maybe for 1 year. But afterwards, I needed to have a decision whether I dig deeper, or خلاص, I just move and take certain decisions gradually to help myself and gain my stability, self-confidence again. Usually, to be honest, one of the nice reflections I had when I completed my master's, they I took a course or a module related to change management. But at the time, they were teaching this module or teaching change management from a psychological point of view. So at that time, maybe it was my first time. I know that هي model of اللي هو I don't recall the name of this model, but with any person who got into a shock, let's say, or like a changing situation, whether at work, whether in a personal level, uh, uh, you lost a person, you broke up with a person, I don't know, anything, you changed your job, you got fired, for example. So there's a certain curve for the يعني let's say steps or emotions you will go through. So you start with the shock, then the denial, then the depression, then I think the acceptance and the
Acceptance.
integration. So you integrate خلاص بتطلع. So understanding this curve and understanding how our bodies, let's say, and emotion normally go through. So this curve, whether Noor, Dr. Tony, X, Y, Z will go through it. يعني without any control. It's a nature in us and in this world. But maybe the difference is how much Noor is trained to go through this curve and how Dr. Tony is trained to go through this curve. So some people they go this يعني throughout this curve for 1 month. Some people it took I don't know 6 months. 6 months. Some people 2 years. Some people 5 years. Some people the whole life. They just stuck in this curve. So how يعني as يعني the more we have fall, I think, and experiences, the more we become experienced in going through this curve easily.
Nice.
Yeah.
Noor, thank you. Thank you. This has been extremely insightful
Thank you.
and refreshing.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for your
refreshing. I'm gonna look back at this with fondness and the way you shared. I mean, I'm gonna now I will look at horseback riding in a totally different way. I'm
yeah,
far
thank
from
you.
that sport,
Me too,
but
to be honest, it helped me in reflecting and loving horseback riding. Today I had class, so I think I will go excited.
oh, great, great. Thank you very much for taking the time. Is there anything else you'd like to share uh, with us?
No, thank you so much. It was a really interesting conversation with like, nice reflections for me, to be honest. At the end, we are all humans, I think, and we are living يعني, the same life nature. Uh, يعني no one, maybe this is the rule and this is the thing, no one is different, and everyone has on his or her own battle. يعني
Hmm,
so understanding this thing give us some peace at the end. You never know what happens with every person around you. Uh, so yeah, so accepting falling as a nature of life, I think it's a good thing.
great. Thank you, Noor.
You are most welcome.